With a new update yesterday, we have gotten many new units, with the most popular being Matthew Renault, also known as Kraken, which is an elite submarine officer and also the first one ever released. This unit is going to shift the whole naval game in many ways and is super overpowered if used correctly. This video will be divided into several sections based on the timestamps. Now let's actually talk about why Kraken is overpowered and how this changes the naval meta. Firstly, I'll start by saying that attack submarines were already strong before this officer. They already counter cruisers if used properly, which is the naval meta of the game, with cruisers dominating almost every ship and mostly only being properly countered by attack submarines. Now, by bringing a new overpowered submarine officer into play, you boost these submarines even more when combining them with them. This indirectly nerfs cruisers even harder and shifts the meta moderately in favor of attack submarines. As for the officer itself, the moment you add Kraken into your submarine stack, your damage against all naval units, especially ships, scales aggressively. Even at early levels, you are already getting extra ship attack, submarine attack, and sea speed. That sea speed boost is actually huge and underrated because it makes ambush timing much easier and allows you to reposition faster than normal submarine stacks. Not only that, but it makes hit and run tactics even stronger, which will make these techniques far more popular and common in the game. Now on top of that, at level 5, Kraken starts giving passive regeneration to your submarine stack. This changes everything. Before, if your submarines took damage, you had to wait days for them to heal. Hospitals do not work for submarines, and healing naval units is extremely slow and inefficient. Now, Kraken-led submarines can take engagements, disengage, and then heal up much faster, especially at higher levels, and come back stronger. To show how overpowered this officer becomes, at level 10 it gets even more ridiculous. 60% ship attack boost to your submarine stack, faster sea speed, and 3 HP regeneration per day. That means your submarines are not only hitting harder than ever against cruisers, they are also recovering between fights. In long naval wars, that regeneration alone can decide control of the sea. What this does to the meta is simple. Surface-heavy players who spam cruisers, which most experienced players currently do, without proper ASW support are going to get punished harder than ever. Kraken forces opponents to invest in destroyers, ASW helicopters, naval patrol aircraft, or more balanced fleets. You cannot just run pure cruiser dominance anymore without risk. He does not make submarines broken in every situation, which I will explain in the last section of the video, but if used properly, he is absolutely overpowered. Indirectly, this unit will boost destroyers and ASW helicopters because they are some of the best ways to counter submarines. And it will nerf cruisers, which are currently one of the most overpowered units in naval play. So I believe the new meta will become more submarine-focused, more destroyer-focused, and still heavily cruiser-focused, as cruisers still destroy most ships. I'll talk more about that in the final section. However, before you click off, the RNG Community is currently doing a free submarine officer Kraken giveaway. So if you do not want to spend money and still want a chance to get this unit, join the RNG Community through the link in the description. They are giving one away completely free. Now if you do decide to purchase it yourself, I suggest using the online shop of Supremacy rather than buying it in the mobile app, as prices are usually cheaper there. When you are there, click on Officers, then click on Submarine Officer Kraken. Here you will see the option to purchase it. By purchasing it, you unlock this unit permanently in the game, just like Elite Season units. To do this, just click Buy on the unit. And if you want to support the channel for more videos like this, please use code CWR in the shop. It works on all purchases and means a lot. Now with this officer, there are 2 types of upgrades, permanent upgrades and in-game upgrades. The permanent upgrades are the ones you see right here. For example, if you upgrade your submarine officer to level 5 using metals, level 5 grants a 30% ship attack boost, 15% submarine attack boost, 15% extra sea speed, and 1 HP regeneration per day. When you upgrade the officer to this level permanently, these benefits apply in every single game you join. Every time you build this officer, you'll have these boosts, and this applies for any level you permanently upgrade it to. The second type of upgrade is upgrading it inside a match. For example, if I go into a game, I can research the unit and upgrade it to gain additional boosts in damage, defense, and more. However, these upgrades reset every map, but they are free. Now I want to go more in depth on permanent upgrades because this part is complex, and if you do it wrong, it can cost you more money, which has happened to me with other officers. To permanently upgrade the officer, you use medals. There are bronze, silver, and gold medals. You have 3 main options. First, you can buy medals individually and use them to upgrade the officer. This is the simplest method, but also the most expensive, because individual medals are extremely expensive. Second, you can earn medals every season by gaining the required XP. But this amount is small and will barely help you upgrade officers unless you save up for years. For example, here I unlocked 100 bronze medals, which is nice, but does not help much in upgrading the officer significantly. The third method, and the best one that I learned the hard way, is to buy bundles. Bundles include the officer and a large amount of medals at a discounted price per medal. This is by far the most efficient way to upgrade the officer, because the cost per medal is much cheaper and you also get the officer included. You can do this with any officer. In fact, I'm going to buy the bundle right now, so I can use it. As you can see here, I have now unlocked the submarine officer unit along with a large number of medals. Now with these medals, I can upgrade the submarine officer and unlock higher tiers, which grant permanent boosts in every game. Now let's talk about how to use Kraken properly, because if you use him wrong, you will throw him away. Firstly, combine him with 4 attack submarines. This gives you a full stack of 5, which is the optimal stack size for maximum efficiency. If you go above 5, you get stack penalties. If you go below 5, you are not maximizing the officer's boosts. Always keep Kraken inside a full submarine stack. Do not split him. All his buffs only apply to the stack he commands. The moment you detach submarines, you lose those bonuses instantly. If you lose 1 attack submarine, immediately replace it with another to keep the stack at 5. The good thing about officers is that they are usually the last unit to die in a stack. But if your officer is ever close to dying, retreat him somewhere safe and let him heal while you produce more submarines instead of rebuilding the officer from scratch. Secondly, always use this stack in deep waters. Submarines receive double health and double stats in deep water. Do not use them in coastal waters unless you want to deal less damage and take more damage. Next, use this stack against the correct targets. Kraken performs best against cruisers. Prioritize engaging cruiser stacks. Avoid destroyers unless you are confident in your hit and run mechanics. And always respect naval patrol aircraft and ASW helicopters, as they are strong counters to submarines. Now, what I personally think will be the strongest meta setup with this officer is building cruisers alongside attack submarines. Pair your cruisers with the elite naval officer and your submarines with the elite submarine officer. These units complement each other extremely well. Cruisers perform well against units that submarines struggle against, such as destroyers, frigates, and corvettes. Meanwhile, submarines perform extremely well against units that cruisers are weaker against, such as other submarines and cruisers. By combining these fleets, you create a balanced and extremely dominant naval force. With this setup, you will be able to dominate naval warfare in most games. If you agree or disagree with anything I said, let me know in the comments. And if you want more content like this, make sure to subscribe. Good luck!